everybody. It's a great day in Clarkston. Let's go check it out. Bye now. I will. It's a great day.
There you go. You're welcome.
Hello everyone, and welcome to It's a Good Day When. I'm your host, LaVon Upton, and today it's a good day when we have our own Rotary Club right here in Clarkston. Today our guest is Jeff Lichty. Hi Jeff.
Good afternoon.
Thanks
Glad
for
to be
being
here.
Thank you, it's good to have you. Jeff, you can see I'm wearing a medallion here. Do you know anything about this?
Oh, I know a lot about that. That medallion means that you or someone donated at least $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation, and then you start thinking about all the good that that $1,000 did. So there are people all over this world that will never have the opportunity to thank you for that donation, but rest assured they will be and they are thanking you for that donation. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I belong to the Rotary Club in Rancho Bernardo, California, and that's when I earned this medallion. You tell me they no longer give these out. They just give pins out.
Well, it kind of goes with the gray hair, that those used to be a big deal for the generations back in the 40s and 50s, but the new kids that are 20, 30, 40-year-olds have said, yeah, it's kind of nice, but it's not really a big deal. So they do like the pin now. As one of our first women in Rotary that was a high office said, for a guy's organization, you sure have a lot of jewelry.
Well, I got this in 2005, so it isn't that old, but
Nope.
I'm glad to have one of the last ones, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I joined in Rancho Bernardo, they put me in charge of an activity for Rotary, and it happened to be the day at the races at the Del Mar racetrack. Can you imagine?
That's not unusual for that to happen, get you working before you know that you don't want to do that. So.
But coming from Michigan, it was like, that's such a different lifestyle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A day at the races with all the women wearing their hats, and it was a beautiful day. But I didn't feel well suited for the job, but soon learned to jump in and do what was needed.
Good.
Can you tell us what Rotary International is?
Rotary International is the organization, it's an association of Rotary clubs. There are about 34 to 35,000 Rotary clubs scattered all over the world, and it's the top of the pyramid. It's what brings us all together. It gives us some commonality. It's what allows us to leverage ourselves as an individual Rotarian and do so much more than we could ever do by ourselves. Rotary is a bottoms-up organization, so that is both our plus and our minus. That it's our plus because you as a Rotarian can cause things to happen, and we'll talk about polio later on, and that's one of the things that was caused by a Rotarian. On the other side of the equation, by having 1.2 million members, then we can get a lot of things accomplished that we might not otherwise be able to do. So that is
And what
the
is the
association.
purpose? What is the
The
purpose?
purpose of Rotary is to allow business and professional people to do good in their community. So it's an organization primarily of business and professionals. It was started by Paul Harris back in 1905. And what he really wanted to do was meet with other business people and on a handshake get delivered what he wanted. So it started off as a networking organization with a trust in it. We have the four-way test, and someday we'll do a whole discussion just on the four-way test. But based on that, I know that you as the attorney will deliver the product that I would like from you. And then real quickly, we found we needed more than that. We needed to give back to the community. So service is the other side of it. So networking and providing service and doing good in the community are the two aspects for Rotary.
Well, Clarkston's a great community to be involved with, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Because of the size, you really can feel an impact when you do something.
Yes.
And in what capacity are you here today?
I'm here today to help promote a water and sanitation project. This will be down in the Dominican Republic, and so that's my purpose here today, and I think we're going to talk about that in a few minutes.
Well, I see that you received an award for your work in Rotary.
Oh, so you want to embarrass me with that?
Well, I think you deserve it, obviously.
That was one of my proudest days. The Service Above Self Award is given to 150 or fewer Rotarians. So if you take 1.2 million people and only give out 120 or 130 of them, it's not very many. And I had to be nominated by some of my fellow Rotarians. So this was a peer group that said that I'd done some good things over the years, and so it was really special for me to receive that. So I really appreciate it.
Well, I've seen your name mentioned on trips to Ethiopia, to India, and now you're going to the Dominican Republic soon?
Oh, one of the great things about Rotary is that it is international. So you can go all over this world and find Rotarians. And the India trip and the Ethiopia trip were both centered around polio and polio drops. One of the only corporate project that we have is polio. So polio is something we found out over the years. To immunize every kid in a country in one weekend or 1 week is the best way to stop the transmission of the disease. So these two trips were centered around National Immunization Days. So we were part of many, many people, thousands of people, that inoculated every kid in the country under the age of 5 in 1 week. And it's a lot of fun. It was very rewarding.
I bet.
Yeah.
And tell me about the upcoming trip to the Dominican Republic.
The Dominican Republic, first off, it's easy to get to. So I would encourage anybody who has an interest in water or sanitation to take this trip. And as you can see in the pictures, the big blue cement box that's there is filled with different layers of sand. And the sand is able to filter out almost all the pathogens, 99.99% of the bacteria. And so we can take dirty river water, pour it into that filter it through, and have very drinkable water when you get done. The price is cheap. It's something like $50, $60 to have one of those things. The technology is almost non-existent. Once you get the flow rate through the sand set up, it just has to stay that way. Occasionally there's a bacterial layer that develops in the top. You might have to stir that up a little bit, but other than that, it's good for 50, 60 years. And it produces almost as clean a water as our high-tech stuff that we have here in the States.
And that's one of the biggest problems, isn't it? Water, contaminated water.
Clean water, if we could just clean the water, we could double the hospital space in the world, because about 50% of the people in a hospital are there because of something they picked up in the drinking water.
How long do you stay on a trip like that? How long does it take?
This is a 10-day trip.
Do you complete the job from start to finish in 10 days?
Well, the local people do the real work.
Okay.
We get to see it. We get to see where our money is being invested. We get to talk to the people and get confirmation that what we think we're doing really is happening. If I got time to tell a little story about this?
Oh, sure. I'd love to hear a story.
So we were up in the mountain areas of the Dominican Republic. We were in a three-car train, and we had gone and visited one little village. We were coming down the mountain, and we came to a split in the road, and one car went the wrong way. So we pulled off about a half mile later in this little village, and the guy says, "Don't worry, in order to get out of here, he's got to come through this village." And as we were standing there, of course, we drew quite of attention, and some people came up and said, "Oh, you're with the water." And they brought us over to where the Ladies Society was getting together in the community building, and they immediately, voluntarily, started talking about the fact that as soon as they got these filters, their rashes went away, their stomach aches went away, their kids could now go to school every day, diarrhea was disappearing. This was totally unrehearsed. We didn't expect to meet these people, so it was very voluntary. So it was really a great affirmation of what we were doing really is making a difference in the lives of a lot of people.
And like you said, it's such a simple thing. It seems like fairly simple
It is,
thing.
yeah. And this trip will be coming up on February 6th, so it's coming up soon. We fly into Banao, stay there for a while, visit the villages, and then we end the trip by going to an all-inclusive resort and laying out on the beach.
Oh, in the Dominican Republic?
Yeah, and so in
I've been there.
February.
Is it a Jack Tar by any chance or something like that?
Puerto Plata.
I've been there.
Yeah, yeah.
How about that?
Nice beach.
Cruise, yeah.
Yeah.
It is nice. At that time, there were soldiers on the beach guarding. Yeah,
That's gone away. Yeah.
that's good. Well, what is your involvement in the community here locally?
Well, as part of the Rotary Club, we get involved with a number of things, some more, some less. We sponsor our Boy Scout troop and work with them, doing a few projects with them. We also buy their popcorn every year when they come around with that.
They help you clean up the park? Is
Yes.
that part of it? Yes.
That's part of it, is the
Okay.
park cleanup. And then we,
And their parents get involved too, I understand.
oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
terrific.
Yeah, it's a fun day. Most of the time, it seems like 2 years ago, I think we got caught with a rainy, wet, miserable day, but so what? And then another thing we do that's very enjoyable is we provide a picnic for the scamp parents out at Twin Oaks Park, and cook up some hot dogs and have some clowns out there and the bouncy balls and stuff, and just have a good evening and watch all these parents have a chance to relax. Their kids are so dominate their life that it's nice to provide them with at least a little bit of a break for one dinner. We also do a number of scholarships locally, both at the high school level and for colleges. And we get, let's see, what else do we do local? Oh, the parade every year, the Labor Day parade is ours.
You've been doing that for 72 years or something?
Yes, yeah, since
That's
the
a long
beginning of
time.
time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time doing it. It's a fun day. For me, I think that's one of the things that defines a small community is a parade.
Yeah.
And Clarkson is fortunate to have 3 of them.
And then every December, people look for you on the streets selling papers?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yep.
For the Shoes for Tots?
Yep, Shoes for Kids.
Shoes for Kids.
Yeah, we raise the money on that weekend. They're usually the first weekend in December. We spend 2 days out there, and so far nobody's run us over. We raise all that money, and then the next weekend it's all spent on shoes and boots. For this year, it was right around 350 kids that we were
That's
able
amazing,
to outfit.
yeah.
Very
Do you need
gratifying.
people from the community to come and help volunteer for that type of thing? I understand you might.
Yes, on both sides, the fundraising side and the extra actually the shoes distribution. The distribution involves a lot of people.
Matching them up with the right
Yeah,
sizes and everything.
We run about 30 families an hour through there, so if they have a couple kids, it's a lot of shoes to find and match.
And I understand the local Rotary was instrumental in forming the Historical Society?
Yes. Dear Lou Hilko was a member of the Historical Society when it first was getting started, and so we participated in that, yes.
Well, for members, what is expected? I mean, you told me that you do a lot, so it sounds like you can keep people busy. What is expected of the members?
Well, one of the things we expect of a member is to find another member to help us out. We expect the members to participate, not in everything, but in most things, and some members get more excited about one thing than another. So they work harder at one event than another event. But it's a volunteer group, and if you can't make it, you can't make it. So it's up to you, and you will find out as you go through a couple of years whether it's a fit for you. We find that about a third of people who join, and it's true of any civic group, about a third of them will quit within 3 years because it just doesn't work. And then the majority of the other 2/3 will be in for at least 10 years after that. So.
And we forgot about the wine tasting in October, is it?
The wine tasting is our #1 fundraiser by far, but I think it's also the most fun thing. It's really enjoyable. If you go there, probably many of you have been there, you see your neighbors. And we've got food. The restaurants have just been tremendous lately. We could call it a food tasting instead of a wine tasting because the food has been fantastic.
I have been to one.
Oh, good.
And I thought it was fabulous. It surpassed my expectations. There was a lot of food, a lot of different stations, wine stations, and a beautiful setting. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, great. Glad you're there.
Now, in the Rotary Club, do you have like a progression of offices or leadership training? I remember being in Rancho Bernardo, and I did go to some leadership training classes.
Yes. Rotary is, because of our size and our commitment, Rotary spends a lot of time and effort on training. So if you're going to become a club president, the year before you would start your presidency, we bring you together in Kalamazoo for Michigan. And we have about 350 presidents there. And we go through a weekend of training. And then in addition to that, there's some other scattered days here and there and some evenings that are involved with training. So Rotary is a big, complicated organization, and dealing with people is complicated. So we spend a lot of time on training.
Well, I understand at one time they did not allow women. So it's not that I was one of the first. Well, they got on board eventually. So that's how I was able to join.
If you take about 50 Rotary clubs, they become a district. And so our Rotary district that Clarkston belongs to, we had the first woman governor. There were 7 of them that first year.
So you're very progressive.
Oh, we are very progressive. More importantly, they now represent, depending on the club, somewhere between 40 and 60% of any given club.
Women do?
Women do. And if you start thinking about who are the new entrepreneurs, many, if not most, of the new companies being formed, the small, the 3, 4, 5, 6 person companies, are headed by women. So that's our business and professional group. And so it's natural that
it's
they're
representative of who's in business.
Right.
Yeah, they become members.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being with us. Can people contact you if they would like to become a member?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Membership just consists of come on up and take a look at us for 3 weeks, 3 different member meetings. We'll see if you can see if we're fit for you, and we'll take a look at you, and then we'll go from there.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
There are a lot of things. If I could add one thing, it would be students, parents, if you've got a student who's interested in studying overseas, now's the time to begin to think about our Rotary Youth Exchange Program, which is a 1-year scholarship to study almost any place around the globe. And it's a tremendous opportunity.
Yeah, tell them a little bit about that, because what do they have to do to qualify to be an exchange student? And then you also accept exchange students coming this way.
Correct. So 2 sides of the equation. To be an outbound, to be a Clarkston High School exchange student to a France or a Taiwan or wherever you would like to go, you should be in the upper 30 of your class. After all, you're going to be studying in a school in a foreign language. The biggest thing you need to be is flexible. As long as you're flexible at the new things that are going to be thrown at you, you should have a degree of maturity. And we're looking for students between the freshman and senior year in high school.
Now, the exchange student you have now that's here, where is she from, and how did she get chosen?
Joy is from the Philippines, and she is a joy. She's just got a killer smile, and she's one of the nicest students I've ever met. Her club sponsored her, so just like Clarkston Rotary would sponsor her at Clarkston High School, her Rotary Club in the Philippines.
So they qualified her on that side.
They qualified her in there. Then her application was sent over to our district, and we received 16 applications last year. And we just took a look at Joy, and our club did, and said, this is the student we want. We also have to marry that person up then with some host families.
Sure.
And we knew that the first host family would like to have a girl in their situation. Turned out the second host family this year has 2 boys at home. And so mom, I think, is going to be really, they just moved over to that house, but I think mom's going to be really happy to have another girl in the house.
Now, is she the one that's on Team Rush? Or was that the last year?
No, that was 2 years ago. That was a boy from Taiwan. And at home, he did a lot of soldering and electrical work. So they really liked having him on board the team to do that kind of work. And from what I understand, he was the one that kept things pretty lively with the jokes he was able to tell. So they really enjoyed him. Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a great trip to the Dominican Republic and accomplish your goals, and thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Good.
All right.
All right, well, the contact information is up on the screen, and the rest of you go out and make it a good day.